Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. I wanted to talk about knitting. I have a test knit that I'm working on. I'll show my progress. And there's another project that I'll work on it after the test knit. This test knit has it it needs to be completed within a month. So the deadline is around mid-November. So I'm only working on this right now. And I'm sure I'll find other things to talk about because I tend to talk and talk and talk. So I'm sorry, or congratulations that you stick around to hearing what I say. I have the test knit. It's the Candelariella, is it? Let me. So sorry. Because there's two versions of this. This one is the Candelariella pullover. There is a blouse of this too. So, as you can see, I finished the yoke. There is the accent of the contrast color up here, and the names are slightly different for the styles, but they're carrying some of the design elements the into another garment. So for the contrast color, I'm using the Peaches and Booches Le Petit Lamb's Wool in the colorway light yellow, and this is 50 grams. I feel like I unlocked some things for this pattern, and there's another pattern that I'll talk about too. This is by the Ukrainian knitwear designer Teti Letsak, or Teti's Knit Garden. I love her patterns. This is technically the second one that I've knit, but I have another project that I started. It was technically my birthday cast on, and I started this. I really love the other version of this pattern, but I missed the test knit call for it. So when she came out with the pullover version, I immediately signed up for it, and I got the approval to do the pattern. And as I was saying with what I unlocked for this, so I didn't have a size US 2.5 needle. This is the 4-inch Chalgu tip, and I started off the second sleeve with the with knitting in the round, but eventually I'm going to use my DPNs, and these are the Haya bamboo DPNs, double pointed needles, and they're 6 inches. I do really like the other DPNs that I just received from a Ukrainian seller. It's a longer DPN length, but these definitely work. So when I get down to less stitches, I'm going to switch to the DPNs. Um, I don't mind knitting sleeves, so I'm happy that I just finished binding off with this. There's the accent color here, and it's a different type of bind off, which I figured that I would do because when I tried this on, I absolutely love the way that it fits. And now I just want to knit a bunch of other patterns by Tetsy, and I was happy with how the bind off turned out to be. Um, I didn't mind doing this one. I felt like it fit the type of finish just because I don't want to give the whole pattern away, but it's not ribbing at the end here, so it changes and it works with the finishing of the this part of it. I kept the stitch markers here just to make sure I do them exactly how I did them on here, and to make sure that I start off and end at the same places. But as for the 2.5 needles, I really love them. There are some yarns that have like different, well, they have in general the recommended needle size, and for yarn that is like the way that the Le Petit lamb's wool is, this does recommend the US 2.5 to US 4. Some of the yarns that I have, like the BC yarn, I'm really happy that I have the 2.5s because I'm really enjoying the way that it's knitting up. And of course, when you're looking at the different patterns, you see the types of the gauge that you're hitting and the shape that you're, or the finish that you're trying to get, like if it's a shape, or the type of way that the garment should be, like if it needs to be flowier, you'll adjust your needle sizes and you see the yarn that they use and see what yarn you choose, or maybe it can be determined by what you knit with in general and what's available to you at the time, and it that to think about those things. I'm really happy with the 2.5s. I got them both at one of the local yarn stores here. Um, I'm really loving these Hayahayas. I've been delving more into the Hayahaya needles, and I like the way that they knit up. It's not one that is super available to me, so when I see them, I see like where it's coming from because with the Hayahaya tips, I didn't want to get them overseas, mainly because if I was just gonna get one of them, I had to pay for shipping, and then sometimes like the shipping is more than the needle tip itself, and a lot of the Haya um, people that the people that sell the Haya brand, a lot of them are in the UK, I've noticed. So I did find an Etsy seller that sold some of the tips, but not all of the sizes. They didn't have the US 6, which I eventually maybe I would get more of them, but I do have a lot of the Nurse Pride Ginger Shorties tips, Ginger Shorty tips, and I have multiple of the size 6s. Some of my needles are worn out, like the lamination and the wood, they have some damage to them, so you can feel it scraping at some points. So I'm seeing, but these are really nice. I just have the body on the cord. So when I start knitting the body, I know that I need to switch out these needle tips. These are US 8, so it's much larger than the other needles, and I won't forget or anything to switch them out. But I'll work on the sleeve a lot and then eventually blend the dye lots together so you don't see distinguishable areas of where you switch the dye lots. Um, I'm gonna crop the body, but I was thinking about making 3/4 length sleeves, but I really wanted full length sleeves. They don't have many, and um, I I wear a lot of the sweaters with my skirts, so I like where it ends, and I'll make a note when I make adjustments to what I did. But I am really happy with this. I tend to like I tend to like knitting sleeves more than knitting the body. I feel like there's more of a stimulation for the knitting because you see progress quickly and you're decreasing if you're making a tapered sleeve or doing certain things with your sleeve. And so I am pretty happy when I end up knitting them. For the body, I feel like, especially for just doing like the yoke and then doing the rest of the project plain knitting, it goes with the way that the style is, and I love that. Um, I feel like I have this, I don't know if you would call it, well, I have this thing where I can fall asleep anywhere. No matter how busy or noisy an area is, like if you just give me a couple of minutes and it literally like a lot of times less than 5 minutes, I could just fall asleep. Um, is I have no problem with being able to fall asleep in that way. I do tend to be a night owl. That's when I get a lot of stuff done. So, um, there's that, but in general, it's not like I'm not able to fall asleep. But the main color is the Juniper Moon Patagonia. I've used this yarn for multiple projects, some of them being the main color, and I really enjoy knitting with it. So this is in the colorway Aquamarine 107. I used I bought the rest of the yarn from Woolen Com Woolen Co. because they have the free shipping, and I'm happy that they offer that. I would say for me, it takes about like a week and a half to get the yarn from them. So when I keep that in mind for future projects when I don't have all the yarn for it. But I just love the combination of these colors. I am just really happy. You could see it's like a heather yarn, and you could see like specks of yellow in here too, which is nice. Does feel like an it does feel like an aquatic color, and then I'm really happy with the Le Petit Lamb's Wool too. But after I block it, I feel like I'll be even more happy because I'll see it bloom, and then it's gonna relax more. Right now it's not relaxed, but I see the vision there. So I've talked about this for a long time for this video, but I just really love this combination. I have the Brusca pullover that I started on my birthday. I'll show that. I was thinking if I do end up knitting it again, there might be a chance that I will. Um, there's a yarn that I really want to use. It's actually the yarn that is used for, well, what Teti used for hers. And, oh, so, well, this project bag, I really like it. Well, it's a bag. It's the, sorry, this is the bag that the toner the pharmacy gave me because she went to a convention. It has different brands on it, so it's fun. And it's technically, I guess you could use it for anything really, but right now it has a project in it. Then I have this one, the Emma Ball bags that I started off with. Was this the first one that I got? I think so. No, I think this is the first one because I'm looking at this other one. That was like the latest Emma Ball bag that I have. I have three, I believe. Unless I have two. I don't know. I think I have three. So this is the Brusca pullover that I have at the moment. I barely worked on it, but as you could see, is there there's a design element for this, and that's why I don't want to rip it out. And I do like the colors. It's more of a berry purple, so you definitely see it more in actual light because I feel like this is kind of like the cave light setting that I have down here, which I don't mind because I don't need too much light. But this is my folded over neckline, and you'll see it on the Ravelry or wherever you purchase the pattern that you're going to pick up the neckline again and then add it going up. So there'll be like a floral pattern, and I've never really knit these colors before, so I feel like it has like a autumnal or regal color palette to it, and I feel like it'd be really nice. You could see the pattern. I have the yarn here. It's the Cascade 220 Heathers in the colorway 9564. I'm sure there's a name for it. Maybe not, but this is the main color, and I love the dimension that the heather yarns have. So I was really into the mustard yellow color this year for this season. And then this color is the contrast color worsted merino superwash, and in the color number 15. So I prefer non-superwash, but if I do use superwash, if I can, well, of course I could do whatever I want, but I would prefer it to just be the contrast color. And I've worked with a couple of superwash yarn well, that sell the superwash yarn, and you could see how it is after you block it. So I feel like I'll love the results of this project. I don't feel like there's a reason for me to rip it out, but I am thinking I will want to then I'll want to use the yarn that is in collaboration and the yarn that's used for the that Tati used the for hers. So this is the Retrosaria Brusca, and it's by Rosa Pomar. I have her book with me, and I'll show that one in the video too. So these are the reds. Well, it's all the same, but it's the red that I got when I was trying to find this yarn. I actually saw that another yarn store that's closer to here has it. It's in Philly, and I'd have to see if there's the stop that's near it, near the store. So I don't, I wouldn't want to park in the city unless I go to like um, an area where you could park there. Um, I don't really, I'm not really a city driver, so I'll see, but I have stuff already, so I'm not worried about running out of projects. And um, I've kept track about the yarn that I have on me, and then there's a lot of yarn in the storage unit, which I will see when I could move the storage unit or at least get stuff out of the storage unit. But I haven't found a black that I liked to go with this yarn, so I'm thinking I'll get the black from this line. And well, this is in the color way A587, and so this is made from the fine wools of Celoia, sorry, and Portuguese Merino, two native sheep breeds from Portugal. Celoia, um, and it's 50 grams. So when I make projects, I see how much it is that I'll spend for the garment. Um, I tend to like to make sure that the garment is more cost effective if I can. Well, of course I can since I'm buying the yarn, but I feel like I don't really buy clothes unless I feel like they're either a staple, and I do like buying from, if I do invest in it and it costs more, it's from small shops that put a lot of there's quality, and a lot of the garments that I've gotten from the small shops, they're everyday pieces, and I tend to buy like everyday things that I use. So just regular tank tops, and then that's fine. And I mix and match. And then I have my knitwear that I use or knit, and um, I usually I feel like I am happy with the price that I spend to knit a garment, and I do like to sometimes challenge myself to find, well, I always like to find like either the sale yarn or the inexpensive yarn and see how I like knitting with it. With the sale yarns, I get happy because a lot of times I buy yarn, the sale yarn, and I wouldn't have bought it if it was the full price. I'm not saying that the price isn't justified, but I am seeing what I'm spending for it. So, all that to say is this is almost $10 for 50 grams. And so I have 150 here, and I suppose I could gradually get the main color as I knit it up. I like the plant matter that's in here still. So I do like the way that it knits up. It feels like it's a sturdy yarn, and I would consider it one of those workhorse yarns. Have other, I don't have a lot of colors from them, but I did make a tarot bag using the yarn. So her book is the Portuguese Knitting by Rosa Pomar. I've shown this. It's one of my main knitting books, and the other two knitting books that I have on me. The other ones are in the car right now because I kept like moving stuff around, so I do have some things in the car just because I don't want to move it. But a historical and practical guide to traditional Portuguese techniques with 20 inspirational projects. So the main pattern that I knit from, or that I knit in here, is the Algebira pouch. You can see. And I've knit it 3 times. I've changed it for the second and third time, but overall, it's basically what it is in here. So I do want a red and black garment. I think that's it for the video. I don't think I have other stuff that I'm sharing. I do still have a cardigan. I'm kind of thinking I might do a couple of holiday knits or Christmas gifting types of things, but I like to just either oh my god, have stuff on hand and I'm ready to just gift it, or um I've knit like mini projects, so just like mini pouches, and that was nice. People really appreciated the patience that I gave them too. So I feel like that's okay. Um, that's it, I guess. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in another video. Bye.